tell you, no doctor ever healed a broken leg. What they do is they put the leg in the right environment for it to heal itself. And what happens with abuse, because it's covered up, you're not put in the healing environment, you're kept in this toxic, it's like reinfecting it over and over again. I mean, I definitely had a compartmentalised life. There was the one I lived for everybody else, and then there was this awful dark secret. And then during my hippie phase, I realised I had to fully integrate myself and try and bring this back into my life. And it was awful, because I was walking around being an abused person all the time, because it was there in my life all the time. So after years of that, I went, no, do you know what, there's a real value in the compartment. And I only talk about this then, and the rest of the time, I don't have to. It's in the compartment. So I went back to sort of, like I'd opened a can of worms, I'd sorted out my worms, and then I put them into
I'm Steph Fuller, and I'm the Director and Chief Executive here at Ditchling Museum of Art and Craft. It's a small rural museum, and it celebrates the artists and craftspeople who came to the village and the surrounding area from sort of the early 20th century onwards. In 2022, I was approached by Dr. Anne Sumner from the Methodist Modern Art Collection Management Committee, who came to the museum to talk to us about dealing with the Eric Gill that was in their collection, knowing obviously that we had lots of Gill in our own collection and had been grappling with all the issues that that raises.
Obviously we knew in 2021 there was the defacing of the Prospero and Ariel sculpture on the front of the BBC. That's really what triggered this part of our journey with Gill. And then that was last year restored. They consulted with English Heritage a great deal about how to restore it. It was made very, very clear that it was not licence payers' money that was going for that, but it was insurance. They have a QR code about how, giving more information about Gill, but that still caused considerable comment and one could say sort of backlash. And the one thing we understand they didn't do, and we would need to look into this, was they didn't consult survivors.
My name's Vivian Allman, and I belong to the Methodist Survivors Advisory Group, which is a group of people who've been abused in any sort of way. And it was created out of the Past Cases Review when the church was told, basically, you just don't listen to survivors. I'm a survivor of childhood abuse and adult abuse. I was raped when I was about 26, but the childhood abuse was from my father and my mother.
I first became involved in the project when Professor Anne Sumner came to the residential we were on to ask us our opinion of what should be done with this picture by Gill, the Annunciation. And I suspect there was a feeling that the group would say, burn it and stamp on the ashes. And that would have been my gut reaction, but that's all very well, but that is a gut reaction.
Yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts are or how you imagine it's going to look.
My first thoughts were, I would not have that anywhere. It's got nothing to do with the angel visited Mary. It's a picture of a huge angel blocking the door, male figure, Mary kneeling down in front of him, tiny little window, no escape route. But the thought was, shall we take it out of the exhibition? Shall we put it in the exhibition? Shall we give it back? Shall we, try and sell it? The answer to that, all of that was no, because if you sell it, then you're passing the buck. If you hide it, then you're hiding the fact that this man was a paedophile. And that's what's happened always. The survivors have always been hidden because they, he's a brilliant artist, stuff whether he's a brilliant artist or not, he's a paedophile. He abused his sister. He abused 2 of his daughters. He abused his dog, and goodness knows what else he did.
I wanted to know the other side of the story, give them a name, make them people. How did they live their lives? Who were the healthy influences on their lives? And the image that I have in my mind all the time is the image of Petra in the bath, in that cold bath with her hair down, thinking, I'm sure that water will have been freezing because it will have taken him a long time to do that picture. Who was the person that got her out the bath, put a blanket round her, sat her by the fire and gave her a cup of hot tea? That's what I wanted to know.
That's her and Dennis. There you go. That's Petra's wedding. The wedding dress for me was really striking because that was something that wasn't even around their childhood. That was about Petra as a woman and what she'd accomplished. She'd created that outfit from nothing, from making the material itself to making the dress. But she also wore it marrying a man that her father wasn't very happy about. So she was a strong, independent woman making her own decisions. So to have that as a big piece in there is very important. Victims of abuse are not only victims of abuse. They grow up to be strong, independent people that have their own lives, become creative, have their own children, go on to help other people. And although a survivor is part of their story, it's not their whole story. So in the case of Petra and Betty, they were women in their own right. Gill, being their father, is only a small part.
Actually, I'm called Vivian. I was a painter and finisher in the Air Force. You know, I can paint aeroplanes, I can upholster them. I've done brownies, I've led guides, I've done lots of things. The survivor is a part of who I am, but it doesn't define who I am. And that exhibition has brought the girls out, so it doesn't define who they are anymore. It shows them as human beings who went on to do amazing things, even though they had a horrific start. And to me, that parallels, for me, with my story,